Today, I will tell you an outrageously simple scheme of communication with a woman, which will allow us, on the one hand, to weed out the dynamos. On the other hand, those women who are potentially of interest to us, to provoke, to invest, to experience a state of love, and this will go on increasing. What is the essence? At first, it will seem to you that this is something, well, too suspiciously simple. It can't work like that. Well, you go all the way to... There are some nuances there. First, we take one day, 24 hours. It doesn't matter whether you just started texting or you've already had several meetings. We form an absolute 100% pure calibration of each action of a woman. That is, if today is Monday, let's say, if she finds it possible to write to you first, as it should be, you also write to her if you want. If she finds it possible to say something about her feelings, to tell you something nice, also duplicate it on this particular day specifically, not on another. This is important, the same thing in reverse. If she takes a long time to answer you, she didn't answer for 2 hours. Let's say. It doesn't matter for what reasons, it doesn't matter at all. Also, don't answer for 2 hours. We form a positive reinforcement. I had a video on my channel where I said, friends, the proportion of attention is 70-30. Everyone ran to count percentages and started doing it crookedly. And do you know what it led to? Many tried to demonstrate to a woman that she is not interesting. Well, like not uninteresting. Eyebrows in a heap. So he is afraid to show her that she, well, as a girl, attracts him. What does it lead to? Well, that is, she took the initiative once. 2, 3, 5. Well, that is, well, yes, someone might fall for such a scheme, but she does not understand what you want. She does not understand in which direction to move, how to behave. With absolute calibration, everything is more than clear here. There is not a single gram of need, and there cannot be. You are not capable of failing the balance with absolute calibration. You know what the most difficult thing in this scheme is? It is simple. It is difficult to implement, because a man becomes very sensitive in the process of communication. If he tries to follow it, this is a very good practice, an experiment and a challenge for yourself. In fact, to be more observant, and therefore, on the one hand, you cannot fail the balance. On the other hand, there is a positive reinforcement. She wants to write to you. But you most likely have a question. Maxim, wait. But this is not a very strong position. It is important to make one addition here, so that you know, like a scale. Such an advantage was, it is enough, in fact, in many cases, any communication in the format, correspondence, you must finish yourself. A phone call, you finish the first conversation, a meeting exactly. You limit it in time, limit it, finish it, and the same applies to her call. This is such an important point when I do not tell you to do this every time, but maybe there is one of 3 calls or one of 2. When you either do not pick up the phone or hang up and call back after some time. It is possible, and in 3 minutes. It is possible even in a minute. Well, you were busy, at first glance some kind of some trifle. Well, he called him back. And what will happen? Before asking this question, remember your feelings when you sometime in the past heard these long beeps. A so-called woman, what feelings did you experience? Therefore, well, we will not bring any suffering to them. Everything will be fine with you, right? She knows how to approach you, and you can, when you have the opportunity, call her back accordingly. This small at first. Advantage, it is small at first glance, but it is here that it becomes clear who is more holding on to this communication. And one more small addition. Also important, without which it will not work. You yourself do not say anything about the relationship. You do not offer to meet. You do not develop this topic. She will do it herself. That's it. Nothing more is required of you. Check. Those who do not believe in the efficiency of this scheme. Check. I understand that if you have a lot of questions there, but you need to try, then ask them, but you understand. Most often, when we generally talk about balance management, often a man begins to imitate, that is, to imitate, let's say, his importance. Yes, this is an important detail. So now I'm somewhere. Here I wrote out, in short, in what? The point. In order for you to really be able to reason and act from a position of strength, in my opinion, there are 4 simple points that are important to comply with. It doesn't depend on the woman, it depends on your lifestyle and thoughts. First, your time should be valuable. Well, everyone here thought, well, yes, I've heard this thesis, it's familiar to me, this is not about that at all. Do you believe in the value of your time or not? And this. It is defined very easily and simply. We divide your daily routine into 2 columns, that is, in 1 column. This is the time that you, so to speak, lose, well, some useless shows, TV programs. There you get stuck on the same TV. You watch some kind of TV. Well, you understand, a useless meeting with friends who do not enrich you in any way. The second column is precisely the use of your time, only that man who uses his time, sees the value in his time, it does not work differently. It is impossible to deceive yourself. No matter how much you set yourself up, this cannot be done. The second point is a matter of choice. Now I want you to emotionally experience what I am going to voice. Imagine. You decided to save up for a long time for a car. You wanted it, dreamed about it, imagined it. Suddenly, you find out, well, there is only one such copy, so to speak. Yes, only one unit. There is one car dealership. You have the opportunity to own it now, so you hurry faster to make it in time. Suddenly, someone you arrive, and the sales manager, seeing as if still your condition, he thinks, did they really come? Well, at least someone. But then he sees your condition like, wait, in fact, here we were going to reserve, so he will already set a higher price. And so, he will say that it is probably safer to take it now. Tomorrow I don't know what will happen. I don't have such authority to make such and such a reserve for it now. Here is the power of a special situation. In short, you understand, yes, what begins to happen. And now imagine if you choose a car and you understand that there are many options. You just understand this. Yes, they are different, and that's all. But there are many of them, and according to this logic, you will go into the car dealership with completely different feelings. You will wait well. With friends, and if that's not enough, then I notice that a man tends to complicate his life. That is, after meeting a woman, he tries in his personal life to get emotional saturation, let's say. That is, he endows his partner with the highest power, most often falls into the power of experiences. That is, this is the same story. Yes, a man can be adult men who have their own business. She has their, I don't know, a business, whatever. It doesn't matter. But a person lacks an impression, and accordingly he only met one specific one. With someone, he begins to think, imagine, communicated with someone, visited her page a little more often, I don't know, turned on the music when he was driving in a car to his office, also thought about Luba. That's it. It will be a disaster. That is, in no case these emotionally saturated impressions. You do not need to strive to get into a relationship. That is, we must close this issue. And one more point. It seems to me that after all, in each of us there is a desire for some kind of feat in life. Many of us have such a need. Unfortunately, we do not find an application for this need often. Well, for some reason, and men seem to begin to use their entire volume of sacrifice, feelings and relationships with her, and he is ready to sacrifice anything, ready to do anything. It seems to me that it is important for such a person to feel his usefulness for, well, in some other matter, and not in this matter, that is, so that this cell is empty, which is where he can show this feeling, so that it is not empty, filled again with something else. Then everything will be fine. Then everything will be fine. That is why such a short set of recommendations of the most practical nature, check it out. Thank you all very much for watching.